Good morning, good morning, everybody. Hope everyone's having a great day today. It's the Thursday, the 23rd July, and we've all tuned into another New York session here brought to you by the Forex gods of the universe. When the Forex gods combine, they give you some situations in the trading where you think price is going to go one way and then price goes the opposite way and then it doesn't really work out. So, um, GBPJPY is just ranging right now. If we take a look at gold, gold should be coming down. Gold is at 1880, and now you got to ask yourself, okay, what's stopping gold from not going to 1900? I mean, man, 1900 is right there, right here, coming way up now. Gold is coming way up into our zone here. This is the liquidity area as we were talking about in the JPY as well yesterday. So now gold is coming up to the same situations here. Wow, what a rally on gold. I wonder who's holding sells on gold. All right, let's take a look at some charts over here. Let's see here. Ooh, nice hat. Yeah, man. These are actually very nice hats. These are like normally my head size is pretty big, normally. But yeah, they fit they fit pretty good. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum salam. Yeah, the stretchy. So basically, right now, what's going on in GJ is that GJ daily candles, it kind of like tapped into some sort of a resistance right here on the left-hand side, right? This area right here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to investigate this area and we're going to see what's going on in this area right here. So going down to the 4-hour chart, we see that, okay, there's a resistance being formed here. Okay, makes sense, resistance. And then once you go left, we see that there was maybe something happening. So maybe we want to go down to the 1-hour time frame. And let's see what's going on here on the 1-hour time frame now. Let's go to the left hand side. Now what's happening on the 1 hour is that the 1 hour candles, if we look at it closely now, they created a support 9th June around New York session. Price came down, price kind of like consolidated on the 30 minute as well, and then continued to move down. So currently right now price tapped into 136,600, and this is what we were talking about yesterday in the Asian session here as well, like about yeah, this area right here. So it created that resistance. Now what I'm thinking is that for these 3-4 days, right, we've just been moving bullish. Like we had this where it started, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. This is the Thursday daily candle. Okay, this if this is a Thursday daily candle, and if we want to say that, okay, this might be like a double top, we may continue down on GBPJPY till, back to 136, 136, 100, or even 136 even, right? So if we're going to look for, all right, so let's take a look on the 4-hour here first now. The 4-hour candles, yesterday at NYC open price, came up, it kind of rejected 136,600, came down, so we're like, okay, whatever. And then you had a bullish candle forming at the Asian session, and then you had this candle, which was the pre-London and London 4-hour candle. It rejected 136,600 again. It came down, made a low at 136 even, 136,080, and then left a wick. So now, maybe if this was a support formed on the 4-hour, right? If this was support formed, maybe price is gonna kind of like, maybe this 4-hour is just coming up to make a top wick and then continue down to fill this wick. Maybe that's what's happening on the 4-hour. So if we go down to the 1-hour time frame, and if let's say that on the 30-minute we're creating this minor resistance here, right? So this is a minor resistance. If we're creating a minor resistance here, and if we also say that, okay, if this is actually a retest on the 4-hour, which would make sense if that resistance is created on the 30-minute, then there's a very high chance price will continue down towards 136. Because previously in the morning when I woke up, I saw this move, like, when this candle closed bullish, I saw this move down as a fake out, for price to continue going up. But then I executed a trade and I got in it, and then slowly I started realizing that, okay, since this candle closed bearish, I started realizing, okay, you know what, maybe this is not a fake out. Maybe it's just creating like a resistance, because in the 4-hour we have some sort of a, resistance created over here. So maybe it may continue down, who knows? So I decided to wait a little bit now. Because if you break above 136,400, this is the range you have, and this range is around, like 20 pip range. So yeah, I'm gonna wait here now. All right, let's take a look at this chart here. This is AUD USD breaking support, coming down. Yep, looks good. Your stop is right here. So your stop is above the breakout candle, which looks pretty good. I mean, now as long as price stays below this level, even though if it's going to do some retracement, it should respect this area, right? So in the same way, someone may argue, well, what about this support right over here? Isn't this support important? The thing is, if this is a strong resistance price is rejecting at 136,600, if this is a strong resistance, price is going to break a minor time frame, which is going to be right here. Then price is going to break this area and then continue down. So let's say then your trade, you could have like an easy 22 to 23 pip trade, at this point. So it could be like maybe a stop could be at 11 12 pips, and then TP could be at around 22 23 pips. Yeah, this is something I'm testing, right, where price is rejecting a stronger zone and then it's breaking a minor time frame zone. So this is a stronger zone that's being rejected, and this is the minor time frame zone that should get broken based on probability. Let's say the current candle closes above next resistance on a 30-minute frame. Since wick down, what would you do about your stop loss? What do you mean? If I'm going to enter a trade, then I'm going to think about a stop loss, right? Like, not right now. Or if you're saying if price closes above 136,400. Nice outfit. Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah. Gray on gray. Gray on gray. Can you comment on this analysis and trade? Let's take a look here. Let's see this. Price tap resistance went down. Yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about, because these sells are valid. Because if the 30-minute candle now closes bearish, then the top of this candle, it becomes like a threshold for sells. And then you can say, oh well, the daily candles have gone up so much, so it was about time for them to kind of like retrace. So we'll see what happens in this instance. Are you still looking to trade, or are you done for the day? I'm still looking to trade. Someone asked, am I in a sell? Well, I'm not going to let everyone know about that, but I just gave out the idea. The idea is that having a stop around 10, 12 pips, and then having TP around, 136,080. If you think that falls into your risk, for sure. If you don't think it falls into your risk, then don't take the trade. If you think it's risky, don't take the trade. If you're looking at the same thing, just take the trade. And basically, that's about it. Rejection of higher time frames. Let's take a look at pre-markets. Pre-markets are bullish. We're above 83 points. So I think US 30 should be partly going bullish. Let's take a look here. Okay, we're kind of like consolidating, sitting at kind of like a support. We're creating like another resistance right over here. That kind of makes sense. I think GJ will continue breaking the support and continue moving down. Do you think the sell is still valid with the close below support? Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. I think this will continue bearish. This will indeed continue bearish. Why didn't you take a sell? Oh, I'm already in a sell. I'm already in it. Let's take a look at your JPY. Your JPY is still at this heavy resistance. There's no confirmation it's going to go down yet. I'm pretty sure someone's still holding sells on your JPY, maybe scaling in or something like that. But I think you'll need a much stronger confirmation for sells here. You may want to need, yeah, see, like we got resistance there. I think if you break below this area, then you can have a move coming down towards, you know, like 123.940. Kind of like the same idea on GBPJPY here, right? Take a look at this chart. This chart is, I just take a trade when price created resistance and wicked up, but closed all at 5 pip profit. Okay, so looking for sells when price break below the support. Yeah, that's good. Looking for more confirmations. That's pretty good. Anticipating next hourly to break the low of the bullish candle, fill the wick down, 10 pip grab, stop loss above the current candle. Yeah, it looks good. So someone's looking for sells. You know, some people are looking for sells in this area, anticipating it to break below support. Some are looking for sells below, you know, 136.250 to continue moving down. But obviously, you know, if a candle starts closing above 136.400, then the selling idea is invalid because, you know, it's closing above a resistance here. So my entry is 136.322. This is my entry right here. My stop is above the 30-minute candle, and I'm anticipating this minor support to break because we're rejecting a much stronger resistance at 136.600. So based on that, we should break a minor zone and then continue on to the stronger zone at 136.087. Do you think it's too late if I wait for price to break support to take a sell? Well, that's up to you. Like, you know, if you think it's going to be too late, then you're going to learn from it. You know, I'm not sure if it's going to be too late or not. I'm not even sure if it's going to go down here or not. I'm just basing this trade off of probability. Basically, that's it. I mean, if price comes back up, then I'm ready to close position in minor losses. But if price comes down, I don't know whether it's going to break this and do a retest. I have no idea if it's going to, like, you know, break it and not do a retest. Those things simply I don't know. You know, maybe it's just going to come down without a confirmation and then come down right over here and then start to consolidate. You know, so these are things you learn as you take trades, as you miss out on trades. These things you pick up, you know, over time. I mean, there's some things I've seen 50, 60 times over the span of 8-9 months. You know, so that's the time I've put in. I've put in 8-9 months of watching the same thing happen over and over again. Because, like, if you have a certain situation, right, that certain situation, it may not happen every day. It may only happen every, you know, 4 or 5 days. You know, so now you have to look for that certain thing 50, 60 times, which only happens every 4 or 5 days. You know, so it's going to take a long time for you to see the same things over and over again. So, you know, so that's when people, when guys say you gotta put in the time, that's what they mean. You gotta put in the time. They're never specific about how you should put the time in. Oh yeah, just stay at the charts. No, you gotta actually put in the time. You know, so these things I've seen happen, and based on what I've seen happen is that I'm executing this trade. So I think it should continue on. Add position when it breaks the market support. Yeah, you can add one. I mean, you know, provided a candle closes in this area and then you can have a decent stop loss. I think that's doable. Let's take a look at this chart here. This is GJ sells 15 minutes. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Kind of have like the same targets down over here. Can you tell me when you move your stop loss to BE? Let's say for, well, if it, once it hits 10 pips, I'm going to move my stops to BE. I always anticipate to move against me. That's why I move my stops to BE when price already moved plus 5 pips. Is it too soon? Yeah, I think it's too it's way too soon. When I'm up 5 pips, I'm not moving my stops at break even. I'm letting it run. Like right now, I'm up around, like almost 6 pips, 7 pips. I'm not moving my stops to break even. Once it hits like 10 pips around, 136.222, since my entry is at 322, at that point I'm going to move my stops to break even, close positions, and probably let it run running. The way everyone has their hands up in the video, it's like everyone's praying. Oh shit, this thing's moving. All right, closing 10 pips over here, letting a runner run. Beautiful. Damn. Yeah, I got around 9.5, and then now I think it should continue moving down to 136. Is it because your broker won't let you stop loss below 10 pips? No, man. Man, you guys are thinking in way too much detail. Wow. No, not at all, man. You guys think in way too much detail. Holy shit. I move my stops when price goes at 10 pips. That's what I do. That's my plan. That's what I've learned over time. I secured 10 pips at when it I'm not moving my stops to break even at 5 pips, 6 pips, 7 pips, because if I'm targeting at least 10 pips, I'm letting it run till 10 pips. If it comes back into a drawdown, then I can manage my risk, right? I think the main thing is people really shy away from not taking losses. It's okay to take losses. It's okay. But if you're taking like retarded losses like every day just by overtrading, that's not okay. If you're following your plan, you're taking 1 or 2 or like let's say 3 losses a week in the start, I think that's perfectly fine. So I mean, if price, let's say, goes in like 5 pip profits and starts to retrace, then I'm going to let it retrace and manage my loss. I'm not going to put my stops at break even. Like, no, I'm gonna let it run like till I want it to go. Like, if you look at right now, it's above 10-11 pips now from my runner. Your JPY is also running down. 4-hour wick fill incoming. Yeah, I think so too. 4-hour wick fill. I think so too. So this was a pretty good break here. The 30-minute broke below the support. I think it's pretty good right now. Can we look at gold? No, I think you need to send a chart. You need to send a chart so that we can look at gold. Did you close a percentage? Yes. At 10 pips, I'm always securing positions. All the time. Oh, my phone battery is dying. Would you mind giving your thoughts on this, please? Let's take a look here. How much did you close? How much did you secure? Man, I think people are really used to getting spoon-fed. We've lost the ability to think for ourselves, guys. We need to start thinking for ourselves. What's this? Buys above this resistance, 107, 180. Yeah, looks good. Sells below here. We're just ranging right now, so it makes sense. Is it true the MF swap makes you a better trader? I believe so. Probably not. Just a question on support. Let's take a look at this. This is, why not the yellow zone? Because the green zone is more recent. Why not the yellow zone? For what? Why not the yellow zone for what? For TP? for, I don't know what you mean by this. I have no idea. I have no idea what this person. Oh, Frederick. Yeah, I don't know what you mean by this, man. You need to be more specific. Be careful with Haskell speech in 4 minutes. Stop loss at break even. Yes. We got Haskell speaking up pretty soon. In 3 minutes. I did not take the trade, but what I learned is CMIW, I don't know what that means. Minor support can be ignored if price coming from high time frame. Yes, exactly. So these both are supports, Frederick. You got a 30-minute support right here, and then you got another support right down over here. You know, so you got two supports. This is a minor support because you know when candles are closing at an area that defines support, right? I speculate that GJ does the same thing as GU. GU went down before GJ and GJ followed. I use this as extra influence. See, I would suggest maybe not use that as extra confluence because when price is trending, no, like when you're looking at GJ and GU are being influenced by two very different things. GJ is only being influenced by the pound. GU is influenced by the pound and the US dollar. You know, so there are two things. Are you not selling into 4-hour support? Yeah, basically, yeah, because you know we're trying to get down to the big fail here. Already secured 10 pips, so you know now this is a risk-free trade. This is risk-free trading. What's your thoughts on inner circle trader? I have no idea who that is. What time frames you mostly look at? 30-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour. Yeah, 30-minute, 1 hour, 4 hours, sometimes 15-minute. Yep. How do you get those hotkeys on the bottom left? Seems cool. Oh, no, that's a physical product. Those are not hotkeys. It's a physical product right here. What's your spread on GJ? 1.4. What was your entry? You can see it on the screen, man. God damn. Oh, wow, look at that. Move down. Went straight down. Well, at this stage, I think you should be securing majority of your profits right over here, right? Because we came in the morning. Yeah, I think it's running pretty good right now. Yeah, this is where you should have been, like, you know, securing majority of the profits. So, you know, cool cats and kittens. We came in the morning, you know, we analyzed, we saw what was happening, we executed the sell, got around like, you know, 10, 12, 14 pips, like from this entry right now, I think price is up like around, you know, got like 15 pips up there, you know. So if you like this trade, if you took this trade, give a like on the stream because, you know, again, the Gulag won today. You know, this was another great episode of risk-free trading, brought to you by Raja Exotic. Cool cats and kittens. Yeah, people got scammed again today. So now, basically, price should kind of like respect this area and then continue moving bearish. It should respect this minor broken support and then continue moving down towards 136.080. The amazing thing is how you can forecast and catch momentum all the time. This blow my mind. Yeah, man, and I think the secret of doing that every day successfully is because I only focus on 1 or 2 trades and that's it. 1 or 2 trades keeps your mind sharp, keeps your mind fresh. Because, you know, if you're taking a lot of trades, you're taking some losses too, and then that's affecting your psychology. That's really affecting those things. So you gotta protect your psychology, and the best way to protect it is by taking less trades. This was a great example of high time frame support, breaking the lower time frame support, gold content. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm still learning these new things. With that close, we should continue to 136, right? Yeah. I mean, in theory, we should continue to 136. Yes, in theory, we should. But if you're in positions and you wanna hold the entire position with stops at break even, that's all up to you you know but if someone's out there thinking that, okay, maybe I'm up like 10 11 pips, I'm going to secure and let a runner run to 136, then that's perfectly fine too. So now you have different options. Either you want to secure positions, leave a runner running, you want to secure the whole thing knowing it can go down, or you can leave the whole thing open. So that's all up to you what you want to do. Are you looking for another entry today? Nope. It's Thursday, and Thursdays are probably my last trading days, and unless Fridays are super good. But I think this was about it. I think this was the trade of the day here, which we executed earlier on. What do you think about entering around here? I mean, if you enter here, your stop is going to be around, like where my entry is. So unless you want to stop way over there, I mean, if you take an entry and your stop loss is at where your entry should have been, that's not a trade for you to take. I think that's a pretty good rule to write down. If your stop loss is going to be at the point where your entry should have been, you shouldn't take that trade. We could put stop loss above the minor support too, right? I would say having the stop above the 15-minute candle around like 15 to 16 pips would be much better. Yeah, I think it'll be much better over there. GP News hardly did anything. Yeah, it's a speech. It's a orange folder speech. It's not going to move GJ a lot. Let's see what they're talking about. Due to speak about economic impact of COVID-19 I said the C word, at the Imperial College. So now you got to look at this, that this person is speaking at the Imperial College Business School webinar. He's speaking on a Zoom webinar to school students or like faculty or whatever. Now you got to ask yourself, is that going to have an impact on the pound? How big of an impact can that have on the pound? Of some person speaking on a Zoom webinar to some school? Probably hardly anything, right? Yeah. Took a sell at 300 TP, half 8 pips, got break even before move down. Lesson learned. Yep. 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 Why you not use 1 mint and 5 mint chart? Because I'm a very disciplined trader. So I only focus on the 30-minute candle closes, maybe the 15 sometimes, 1 hour also works. And if you look on the 4 hour, 4 hours now coming down to potentially fill this wick. It's on its way. If you take a buy entry in GJ, stop loss below the wick. I don't think there's a buy entry here. I think Sean Lee has spiritual keys in the making. Number one, I don't know who that is. Number two, I heard news that he had sells right over here at this point on your JPY when we were looking at it going bullish. So I honestly don't know who that person is. Why you not trade CFDs? Because I don't understand CFDs. Tomorrow is pound interest rate. Tomorrow is not pound interest rate. They're usually on Thursdays unless they changed it. Yeah, there's no interest rate tomorrow. It's usually at Thursdays. What's this? Complicated question. Is the confluence of the power of the banks as big as it seems when it comes to trading? Can you solely go off of price action? Yes, you can 100% go off of price action. The banks have no, like, I mean, the banks are not looking at the 15 and 30-minute charts. Let's put it that way. You can solely go off of price. I mean, we trade price action here every day. What is your suggestion? We have to trade on higher time frame chart. Yeah, I think price moves in the same way on all on all time frames basically. Like if you look on the daily, daily candles came up and they formed some sort of support, and then we've learned from these live streams is that if we have a clean candle to the left hand side right here, there's a very high chance price will, mirror that move, and it mirrored this move. Some people took sells as price was mirroring this move, and the market really punished them because now you're fighting the trend. And market says, don't fight the trend. Like right now, the minor trend on GJ is bearish, so we're probably going to hit 136.090, 136.100. Do you have any course, Raja? Well, if you can find my course, then the doors to heaven are open. But if you can't find it, then you can't find it. Did you catch gold buys yesterday? No. When you see a good setup that fit almost all your trading plan, except the slight higher stop loss than usual, would you wait for price to retrace a bit, or you stop loss the next? See, now that's a good question. If you see your setup, and it's perfect setup, but the stop loss is bigger, what are you going to do? I think that question is best answered in the risk management 3.0 section or 3.2. Basically, you're probably going to reduce your lot size. You're going to reduce the risk to compensate for the larger stop loss. And if price does retrace, then you can add a position, using dynamic risk. So you may want to break up your position into, let's say, half or quarter sizes and have like a bigger stop, and as it retraces, then you can, like add the rest of the risk or whatever, so that's when you say that, okay, you want price to retrace so you can enter a better position. What made you to trade 10 pips? Okay, that's a very good question. The reason how I came to trading 10 pips was because I was trying to do swing trades, right? I was trying to catch like 50 pip trades, 100 pip trades, whatnot, like everyone does, I'm like, perfect, okay, let's do that. I tried catching 100 pip trades, and what I found out was that my trades were 80% of the time, they were always going in 10 to 15 pip profits before going back and drawdown. This happens to everybody. Everybody I know, this happens to everybody all the time. Price would always go in profits 10, 15 pips, and then it would always go in a drawdown, and most of the time it would just go in drawdown, and I'm like, man, now what's going on? So when I saw that happening, I was like, okay, you know what? If price is always going to go in like 10, 15 pip profits, let's say 70 to 80% of the time, maybe I can secure positions there, 100% of the time. Right? So that kind of made sense to me. I'm like, okay, then that kind of makes sense. And then I can leave a runner running, because if the runner is going to get 100 pips, perfect. So what I found out was that 70 to 80% of the time, my runners were getting stopped out at break even, but only 20 to 15 to 10% of the time, the runners were actually running to like 100 pip profits. So there was less probability I was getting 100 pips. So let's say if I took 10 trades, maybe 1 or 2 will go to 100 pips. The rest will always get stopped out of break even. So for me, it became necessary to secure profits. It became extremely necessary. If I take one trade a day and result is break even, can I consider no trade and take another? That's up to you. That's up to you whether market is ranging, or if it's trending, or if there's any news, if there's any volatility. So I mean, it depends on you basically. Can we trade if market is closed like now, NZD USD? No, it's still open because you have USD in there. And as we're coming close to this 15-minute candle close, price is inching towards the wick fill on the 4-hour. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Should we trade Raja, should we trade pre-sessions or after sessions? That's up to you. I trade pre-sessions. How do you always keep your losses, losing trades so low? I've worked on them for like a year and a half. I hope you have a runner this time. Haha. How do you compare one area of resistance or support to another, determine if one is stronger than the other? Yeah, I mean, if this is on the 4 hour and this is on the 30-minute, then obviously this is weaker and this is stronger. All right, let's take a look at this chart here. This is sells when break and retest happens upon bullish close. I will take an entry. But how do I avoid getting stuck in the range if it starts to consolidate here? Well, if it starts to consolidate here, then there's no way for you to know if it's going to range or not. There's no way. Um, you're going to know it's ranging when it starts ranging. Because essentially now I'm looking at it, I'm just like, yeah, you know what, it has to come down over here. But if it starts forming a bullish candle and starts breaking above 136.250, then I can say, well, probably it's not going to come down here again now. So we can only enter. The only thing we can control is, so you asked here, how can I avoid getting stuck in the range? I think the question should be, how can I avoid letting my full stop loss hit? Because that's one thing you can control. We can't control if it's going to start ranging. We can't control if it's going to start moving down or going up. We can't control that. If you're going to take an entry, have a stop loss. I think a stop loss here at 136.250 would be pretty good. And if the 15-minute starts going bullish, then the only thing you can control is how much you can lose. That's it. We can't control the outcome. We can just anticipate the outcome based on probabilities. How would you adjust your strategy if you have taken a couple of losses and are trying to make them up? If I've taken a couple of losses, I'm never looking to make back those losses. As retarded as that sounds, but that's the perfect way to think about it. It's like trying to take revenge from people. Like when you try to take revenge from people, that's like you're thinking about them all the time. Your thoughts are consumed by those people. You keep thinking about them, you keep devising plans. It's like you're taking a loss. You took a few losses, now your mind is clouded by those losses. And the more you think about those losses, the more you'd want to make them back and the more you'd be prone to overtrade. Not in one day, but accumulatively. Yeah, you can't make back the losses. You just can't. I mean, you can, but not by thinking about them. You just got to look at one trade and just focus on that one trade. Because if you have your full focus on that one trade, that trade will work. Or if it doesn't work, then that's a time where you can learn. Now, if you've taken accumulated losses, that means you haven't learned from those losses. You don't know whether they were over trading losses, if they were over risking losses. You don't know what went wrong in those losses, how you could have taken the winning trade from those losses. So unless you're not learning from those losses, it's going to be pretty hard. When you feel it's a good timing, can I answer 2-3 questions people ask me on my Freddy side? Yeah, just like I think just DM them back basically. UK hasn't shows the level of engagement needed. EU Brexit negotiator hasn't shown level of engagement. Oh, they're saying that the engagement needed for Brexit is not there. They're not showing any engagement. EU Brexit negotiator. Oh wow, yeah, they're going off on this guy. See, the only problem is whenever there's been a Brexit news, price has always gone bullish. So that's why I should be very concerned about this. That's why. I mean, if they're talking about that this guy hasn't shown any engagement, and if someone comes around the corner and talks about Brexit, this thing is going to fly. But so far, we're heading downtown and we're approaching 136.100, and should be pretty good. Let's take a look at this chart here. GJ, 1 hour, mirroring the move, the price should go down. I think you're discounting this wick over here. This wick plays an important role at 136, 100. Where's that? Yeah, this wick right over here. It plays a key role in price coming down. What do you mean when you, hey Raj, first of all, it's Raja. What do you mean when you close position? That means position is closed. I mean, is English your fourth language? What's going on over there? All right, let's take a look at this chart here. Price create, oh, what's this GBPJPY? Price create resistance, first entry, second entry, stop at BE. Pretty good. You tried for sells and price didn't really work. It came up, so pretty good. Now it's just in a range here. We don't know what's going on. Oh yeah, it's in a range right now. Damn. Your JPY is in a tight range here. It looks like it's going to have a very hard time breaking out of this range. Let's measure how big this range is. This is a 30 pip range. It's pretty big for your JPY. Hey, Roger. I mean, man, do I look like a Roger? Do you think it will just wick fill or go straight down to 136? Man, any number of things can happen. Any number of things can happen. I mean, it can come down to 136, 100, move up. It can come down to 136 even here. I mean, if it breaks below 136, 100, then it's going to come down to 136 even, you know. So, yeah. Hey, mentor, would you recommend to take a week off of live trading if you have a losing streak? Yeah, yeah. Or maybe look at your losses and see why you were taking those losses, or what was happening. You know, I mean, losing streak. I mean, have you been taking like a lot of losses in a row, or has it been, yeah, study the losses. You know, take a week off, but still take like, you know, try to take like 1 or 2 trades in a, like, you know, if you're trying to take a week off, maybe take like 3 trades in that week and take like paper trades, study those, like studying the losses. It's the most, and that's the thing that takes a lot of time. You know, yeah, it takes a lot of time because for me to really, because like, okay, here's the thing, right? Now let's say there's this thing that we're testing, and that thing that we're testing is, let's say you have a resistance here. Okay, perfect, right? All right, let's draw this here. Okay, this one thing we're testing is that, okay, we have a 4-hour, let's say a daily resistance here, and then we have, let's say, the 4-hour support here. If price is rejecting the daily resistance, what I'm testing is that it's going to break the minor time frame support. That's kind of like what's happening here, right? We're rejecting a strong resistance and we're breaking below a minor support to continue down to the next support. Now, this scenario is not going to happen every day. You know, this scenario may happen maybe 2 or 3 times out of the week, maybe like 2 times out of the week. So I need to see this happen 50, 60 times for me to really see that, okay, you know what, this is actually worthwhile working on, you know, like this is actually worthwhile, like, you know, breaking down and teaching people or like doing something with it. You know, so it's going to take me like a couple of months to really look at this over and over and over again. What I can do is easily, I can go back in the charts maybe 6, 7 years and then start looking at the same thing. But when I do that, it's not going to be the same emotions, you know, because then I'm going to be looking at candles that are already formed, or I can do the replay thing, but it's not the same thing. That's like back testing in the past. You need to back test live. And this is live back testing. You know, when I'm testing something, I'm waiting for that to happen, you know, a week from now, like, you know, the next week or 3, 4 days from then, to be very, very sure, you know. I have a small account. Should I add money into my trading account monthly to be able to trade with bigger lot size, even though I'm not profitable? No, I think once on a small account, you need to prove that you are consistent and you are disciplined, you know, and you're disciplined. Once you're disciplined, once you start having like, let's say, minor winning weeks, then you can start adding more money to it. Hey, Raji, does the wick mean big in Forex? Yeah, I mean, if you look around, look right now, we're coming down, man. We're coming down towards 136, 100, 136, 080, 090. Beautiful trade today. Beautiful trade today. Well, I guess this was another episode of stress-free trading. If you're still in this trade, I think you did a very, very good job. We have around 2,500 people here watching, man. This is crazy. Never knew I'd have 2,500 people watching. Let's take a look at this here. Yeah, I think here should be like kind of like um, securing profits because it's now coming into this vicinity where we had some rejections, right? So you need to be safe all the time. I'm out of the trade now and trying to work out how could I have gotten in early to make more profit. I thought about entering on a candle before the big drop, but thought it would be too risky because of being in the middle of that earlier fake out zone. What made you get in earlier? Was it impulse or was it a confirmation I missed? That was basically, let's take a look here. Okay, so you entered right over here. You had a sell stop, and I entered right over here. Okay, so the reason why I entered over here was based on the anticipation that if we're rejecting a stronger resistance at 136,600, then we should break the minor support. That was my bias. Also looking at the 4 hour, it kind of made sense that it will, continue down to fill this wick, which seems like it kind of did and it almost will later on. So that confidence I had in my mind that, okay, maybe this is doing like a retest to continue down. And then and I knew that, okay, if I take a sell at this point, then my stop is going to be, in this range, or a safer stop is going to be in this above that wick, and then I said, okay, well, how can I have a smaller stop loss? Then I said, okay, the way I can have a smaller stop is maybe enter right here and have a stop right over here, and then use what I've seen in the markets. What happens most of the times is that, when price rejects a higher time frame zone, it will break a small time frame zone. So keeping that in mind, I executed the sell. And also, that way I could have like a smaller stop loss up there too. All right, let's take a look at this. Back in the day when there were 80 people on Twitch and Mixer, yeah, man. When we first started on Mixer, I remember this one day we got 150 people on Mixer. And I was like, yo, we have 150 people watching. Wow, that was crazy. That was a crazy, crazy day. Now average we get 2,000. Um, have you seen the YouTube gamer streams? Yeah, yeah. Some YouTube gamer streams have a lot of people, thousands and thousands. This one guy I saw, he had 300,000 people watching him play, and damn, if I can even get close to that, wow, game changing. Suppose if today's trade was failed one, how would you have analyzed the mistake? Well, today's trade was not a failed one, but the today's trade would have been a failed one if it broke the high of this candle here. Then it would have been a failed trade. What should be lots on 500 account catching 10 pips? I think having like a 5-cent lot is pretty good, 1% risk. My broker charges me 8 cents per one lot commission. Is this normal? Yes, it's very normal. My broker charges me $7. It's kind of like the same thing. Raja and Ted are the best trader I've ever seen. Actually, that's false. I think I can't speak about Ted, even though he's like a very good respected trader. I can speak about myself. Is that I don't think I'm the best. I think I've spent time watching certain things happen over and over again. Because like in the market, the same things are going to happen over and over again. And you need to get really, really good at seeing these, like calling tops and calling bottoms, like been dragged into them so many times. So now how are you going to like, fix that? You start to look to see how you could have traded the trend.
Yeah, I think people mistake our talent without looking at the amount of work that we put in. People that have been trading for 6 months or a year think that we're doing something impressive when we've just been doing the same thing over and over again. And we found something that worked.
Yeah, like there was no magic basically. I mean,
Yeah.
if someone here who's really analytical, if you go watch the previous streams, you'll see the same trades. You'll see the same setups in momentum at the same time every day.
Yeah, like legitimately, the first thing that I tell people to trade, and you know, you heard this, Rakeel, like 5 years ago, 4 years ago, is look at all your time frames. If they match up, take a position in in that direction. Like if you have all like 3 or 4 time frames in a sell position, 3 or 4 time frames in a buy position, either take a sell or take a buy. And if one of them doesn't match up, well, wait for that to turn around and then take it. And then as you get better, you start to understand why the time frames aren't matching up, and you can start to, you know, sort of get a little bit better at entries, exits, things of that nature. But I mean, that's all trading is trading with the trend. None of this fancy stuff of, well, I think that we're at resistance here or we're support over here. It's like, no, just if everything's in the same direction, take position in that direction and then close out when you reach an area to the left that looks like it could give you trouble.
Yeah, that's why I'm closing 75%. The 4-hour wick fill was good, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it's really impressive when someone can put together the entire time frames, risk management, entry, stop loss, and take profit very logically. I think that's very impressive. And sometimes, I fail at that. But the days I don't fail at that, I'm just like, wow, this worked again. Amazing. Sometimes right below the body of the candle, and sometimes you place your support at the bottom of the wick, like you did right now. Can you please explain it? Yeah, I mean, we had the support over here, and then next support is right here, because wicks are basically when price is rejecting a zone. So if the 30-minute candle came down here and rejected this area, then it's an important area. And when price starts moving in the direction of the wicks become destinations. So as we can see right here, price is approaching our target. I think I'll call this like a winning trade here. I think.
Yeah, and also understand these rejections in momentum were originally price that was grabbed here, right? So if we think of this area as like a car, right? So this is your car. This is your car, right? All these pieces of price have to go somewhere. They have to leave, right? So price then starts to go away, and price ends up coming over to this little trip over here, right? So the car ends up driving over to this section of the chart, right? So we made our destination. So maybe this is grocery shopping, right? So we came up and got our groceries, and then they're like, hey, wait a second, we got to head back now. So when you start looking and you say, hey, we've got enough fuel now to head back potentially, where should we head back to? You have to head back to the original destination. And that's where, when we have momentum, wicks get filled. When we don't have momentum, wicks don't get filled. So in this case, we could have the opposite effect in this area here, right? We could say, okay, this is going to be a very big trip coming up in this area. And guess what? I have to stop for gas multiple times, and then I leave, and I'm not coming back for a while. That's when wicks don't get filled, because they're rejecting this area, because they're collecting orders from down here to move up in that direction. And then you say, well, how do I know the difference, Ted? How do I know the difference? Well, you look on your higher time frames and you look to the left, and you'll see a lot of times there's rejection and then we go away. So when we start to head towards that area, there's a possibility we could reject and go away. But as we start to move through, and if we have higher time frame bias to a sell position, then more than likely the smaller time frames will get filled in that momentum. But if the smaller time frames match up with higher time frame rejections, then maybe they may not. And that's where, as you approach a zone that we draw out, whether it's, you can consider this area here a zone, maybe this area here a zone, we have to be very cautious. Similar to if we're starting to move down here, this is the next zone that we're looking at to the left. We have to always be cautious. Every single time we're hitting a zone, you have to be cautious. And then you say, well, Ted, there's zones everywhere on the chart. How can I figure this out? That's trading, right? And then we look at other factors. We add confluence. Well, we're at 7 a.m. There's an hour before we hit the New York currency open, or the North American currency open. So chances are, with momentum, we're going to continue and we're going to fill this area. The higher time frames have a certain bias, so chances are we're going to continue with that momentum. So we're going to break through these smaller zones. These are all things that come with experience and come with repetition. There's no magic here. There's no magic. Well, what if 2 zones get broken and the third one doesn't? What does that mean? Well, what if there's 3 wicks instead of 4? What if there's 2 long wicks, 1 short wick, and 1 medium wick? Like, those are all variables that are all part of the same idea overall. There's always going to be nuances, right? You can see here as an example, there's like 4 wicks versus 2 wicks. Does that mean this area is stronger than this area? Well, I don't know. All I know is when we're in momentum, this area has to fill then followed by this area. And if this area here is a key area on, our daily and our 4-hour, maybe it's going to be a little bit more tougher to fill that area. And we have to be a little bit more cautious. Maybe we have to close our trade over here before the end of the hour because it may reject and pull back. Or maybe now we're going to get a wick in this area here from this zone pointing up to drive further down. There's all those variables that you have to review. And yes, it's complicated. It's tough. I can't think of all these things. I miss this. And that's where your experience of 1, 2, 3, 4 years comes into play. You start noticing all these little things and you start to get super paranoid. And you start to realize, like, hey, I should close my trade here. I should let my trade run here. Oh, this is probably going to give me a trouble spot. Watch this area. Oh, we broke through it. Great. Continue on. Move my stop loss. All those things.
Yeah, one thing we don't know is if it's going to bounce from this area because it has bounced here before, or is it going to break through to continue down? That's why the TP was where it is.
Yeah. Also, if you look left, there's a huge zone of range to the left. So it may have some problems before continuing down, and we took the easy part of the trade. So why get overcomplicated?
Yes, Kervin. Kervin Papa. Wow, this is the first time when Bloomberg and this stream we have the same viewers.
God damn, that's
Yeah.
nice.
Bloomberg has 2.3. Oh, actually, we have more. We have 2.4. It's crazy.
Wow. That means you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Should reach out to them. Tell them to put you on there.
Just showing up every day.
Now, I think you beat NFP. I think you beat him on NFP before.
Yeah, probably not. NFP was different. Man, if someone has runners running on GJ and if it breaks 136.090, oof, it will just drop. Let's take a look at your JPY. Your JPY is a mess. Your JPY is a hot mess. You know, you spend a night partying at night, you wake up and you become a hot mess. That's what your JPY is right now. It's in a tight range, and below this, it's got another range over here. Just crazy. GJ was way better.
Yeah. Can you zoom out a little bit, Raja?
What's that?
Can you zoom out?
Zoom out? Yeah.
Yes, please. Uh, okay. This is the problem with GG. You know, I don't want to play in this range. There's a lot of traffic in this area right here.
You know,
So, mhm.
I think that range doesn't matter.
Basically, this will be good, to get completed, but this is a mess. That's why this area doesn't give me the confidence to hold this trade.
Yeah, I don't think that whole area matters because if this area was somewhat of importance, price would have kind of like respected that area when it was moving up, right after it.
Hmm.
So like the way I look at things is that okay, this is our support that we have. Perfect. Like we had wick rejections here and here. But if we break this, we have a clean candle moving down to this area. And then we have the next support down into, 135,760. So
Yeah, I got you.
with that, I don't think this area should be of any significance of what price will do right now. Right? Because like this is so the zones price is making right now, these are all the fresh zones. These are all like this whole area is a fresh area. This is a fresh area here. So now you have like different levels being made. Now since price was moving up over here, it didn't really respect all this garbage here to the left hand side. Like, so it's like, okay, if the person didn't respect those things before, this shouldn't be respected in the future again either. Like, it's like I think the market keeps on making new rules as it makes new structure. I don't know if that makes sense or not.
Yeah, it makes sense at
But,
some point. Yeah.
but yeah, like one mistake I used to make, I used to look at like way left a lot and try to see that okay, would that make sense or not? Because now even if we extend this area, it will kind of like map up to it, but it won't be exact here, right? And someone yesterday asked me a question that so now based on that question was like, okay, if this is a resistance, so why can't we have a support like this? You know, but like then you can say, okay, well, no, it's a whole zone, so then you can kind of like make it a little bit more thicker. How the fuck? Like make it thicker like this, now it becomes a little bit messy. So the best approach I found was to maybe just keep it relevant to what's happening recently. So recently we have this support forming, and if we extend it to the left hand side, it kind of like matches up with like this wick here to the left too. So now I see, okay, well, this is the most recent zone here, and then this support, and after this support, a recent zone is down over here, which maybe like matches up with this here as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. I don't know if you think I sound like a retard, just let me know. Like, I just make things up most
No,
of the
no,
time.
makes perfect sense. The only thing is I used to see the higher time frames, and I tend to see to the left where the prices tend to react with
Yeah,
those heavy reactions like wicks and all the
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I know the higher time frame makes sense. Like this whole area, it makes sense on the 4 hour, 100%. Right here. It makes perfect sense with the 4 hour. It matches up with the range and the zone and everything. But when you go down to the 30 minute, or let's say even on the 1 hour, then yeah, see now on the 1 hour, it also kind of like matches up with this whole area here. But when you go down 30 minute, then it kind of gets a little more confusing because now you have more candles going up and down. But that was based on the 4 hour, like sure, like it makes sense there. But on the small time frame when we drop down, it kind of like gets a little bit, you know, confusing. So I think this was a good trade based on a 4 hour. And as you can see, we have filled the wick on the 4-hour, on the
Yeah.
30-minute. Now we're continuing heading bearish. So, if someone's still in this trade, you're holding sells, give a like on the stream, because man, we gave out free money today. This was actually free money given out today. For free. For free, man. Who does this? God damn.
Got the
Yesterday, the same thing yesterday, man. Day
yeah.
before yesterday, the same thing.
Uh,
Three. God damn.
looks like my 25% is gonna make more than the 75.
Damn.
God damn.
How many times do you recommend watching your webinars a day? Maybe 1 hour. That's it. 1 hour. Looking for sales under 136. Yeah, sure. I mean, you could get a sell breaking below this area here. I mean, now you'll have to wait for a resistance to be formed, right? Now you'll have to wait for a minor resistance to be formed, like a pullback, a minor resistance, and then a sell. That would make sense. What about on daily and 4-hour? And then if we look left, does those zones matter? Yes, it depends on where the zone is, right? So you need to send a chart on what zone you see. So if you're trailing your positions, I mean, if someone's trailing their positions right now, I think the best way to do them would be like bring the stops down to 30-minute, then bring it down to this area here, and then I think this is Ted drawing the candle. Yeah, it makes sense here too.
Yeah, so this is what you would visualize the next time, right? Because as we enter that zone, there's probably going to be a rejection, because that's think of it as also a race, right? So this is where we were racing to. This is the first competitors coming to the end of the race. They've reached that pivotal point. So now you have all the other competitors from up here all coming with you, and they're all saying, hey, I got to finish the race too. So you get the rejection, and then maybe next hour we get a little bit of a pullback, and then you get the second half of the competitors coming through. And then what ends up happening is these competitors over here, there's so many of them, they just keep breaking through and falling down on top of each other, and that's where we get that momentum. So when you look at that, you have to see how the next candle is going to form, like what we just did. And once we break out of, what we would consider this zone over here, right? And we come into this area here, chances are we will then continue to finish this zone off. But this timing becomes important now, because you start to look and you're like, hey, we just tapped into that zone. Where are we in overall time, right? It's 7:45, right? 4:45. That means we've got 15 minutes until the hour candle closes. Now, what happens at the end of the hour with GJ? Well, how do we look at the end of the hour with GJ? We would look at our hour candle and we would see, hey, do we reject a lot of times when we hit a zone at the end of the hour? How does the 15-minute candle finish, right? There's a lot of wicks either on the top or the bottom. So with that being said, I can then anticipate that there could be a wick, maybe over here, maybe over here. But as we pass through this zone, it may pull back a bit. So I'll be looking, if I was in the trade, to maybe close out at the bottom of this zone, knowing that it could pull back up for the next hour candle to then continue drive down. But I don't have to worry about this next hour candle doing whatever it's doing when I closed at my target at that point, if that makes sense. So this is where you make the decision. Am I comfortable with this target coming down to complete this zone, which basically it did? Or do I want to go down further here? And now I have to be comfortable with the fact that this candle could push all the way back up and then continue to go further down. So these are decisions you and only you can make. There is no right or wrong answer. It is a decision to say, hey, I'm up 8% today. I'm closing here. I'm happy. Hey, I'm only up 1%. So maybe I'm not too worried about taking profit at 1%. So I'll try and let it do its thing and push down. So maybe I can get 3 or 4% at that point, right? This is all personal preference. This is all up to how you feel about your current trading style, about the current week, about the current day, about what you had for breakfast, what you did for dinner. You know, did you take a crap today? You know, did you watch good TV? Was the movie scary? Like, these are all various things that you have to think about yourself and understand yourself. There's no right or wrong answer. Should I take profit? Sure. Should I hold it? Sure. It doesn't matter. It's what your comfort level is. My comfort level would be, hey, I'm happy with that profit. I'm good. The other person's comfort level could be like, hey, no, I think we're going to go further down. So I'm willing to potentially lose this profit if we pull back on the anticipation that the profit is going to be bigger if I am right. And how do I know I'm right? I don't. This is probability. What has happened in the past? What do I anticipate to happen in the future? And how many times have I seen this same idea play out over and over again? And the more times I see this idea, the more comfortable I am with holding the trade, or the more comfortable I am with closing the trade. There is no magic formula. There's no right or wrong answer. It's all about comfort level and your perspective on the charts.
The gaming society, what's going on here? My PC is super low, end up getting a laptop. Oh, man, I think this was a pretty good move here on GBPJPY. This move was for about, like, 36 pips full, coming down to 135,950. Amazing trade today. This would have been my trade. Let's take a look here. GJ 30 minute. Enter at the break of this wick. First TP, then stop at break even. Yeah, this is good. Perfect. See, now you have the next level planned out. Next level is at 135,814. Do you think NYC is going to push price down? Yeah, possibly it could. It could continue it down to, like, 135,800. I have a level right here, 135,800. Could come down over here. So now either it's going to come down without a retest, or it's going to make a resistance and then do a retest. Now, there are people here who missed this trade. If you missed this trade, I think the best way to do is now really look to see how could you have entered the trade. Because this happened last week, this happened the week before that, the week before that. This has been happening for a very, very long time. So can you please have a look at this? Look like it's being ignored for a reason. No, trust me, you're not that special to be ignored. No one's that special to be ignored. There are a lot of messages that come through, so, they get missed. Took a buy earlier today as soon as the 15-minute broke resistance. Oh, okay, right here. But got stopped out. All right, so let's take a look at this chart right here. So basically, actually, this buy was taken right over here when you had resistance at this white line. So you didn't have enough range for price to go up. There wasn't enough range to begin with. When was this buy? This buy was at... Oh, this is AU some pair. Oh, yeah, I don't know about this pair. Yeah, I think, yeah, there wasn't enough range for price to go. That's some weird ass pair. For my chart in GU today, 3 trades, 2 wins, 1 loss. Oh, nice. 1 in progress. I think that 1 in progress is an overtrading. I think you should stop overtrading. GU 5 minute re-entered here. Profit area down over here. Okay, makes sense, makes sense. Put stops at break even and let it do its thing. I entered late, secured 20 pips, and out fourth day this week, finishing profitable. Thanks, Raja, for the stress-free trading. I trade GU. Oh, nice, man. Beautiful. Beautiful. Fourth day, ending the week in profits. This is what we want, And then I think slowly people in my groups, they're actually turning their losing weeks into profitable weeks. Even though the profitable weeks are smaller, but still, like just seeing those blues, even those blues are small, man. Once you see a small blue at the end of the week, you're inching towards the light at the end of the tunnel. It's that inch, like you're slowly inching towards that. It's like when we used to do door-to-door trading, door-to-door sales. Like we used to hear this pitch, like you need to crawl every inch. You need to claw with your fingernails to get to that inch. Just crawl slowly and surely you're going to get there. At what point do you start thinking that a move has been exhausted? Every time it comes to a support, if I was in sells here, I was anticipating it to break and it came down to the support. I was like, okay, you know what? This is an area for me to secure profits because at this time, maybe price may bounce, but hey, maybe the momentum was there and price continued dropping down to the next support. So now at this time, if you have runners, you're thinking, okay, maybe I'm going to secure some runners because at this area, price may bounce. Because you're always thinking about what are you going to do if price starts to go against you. Now before when I started trading, I would always think about the profits. I would always think about, how much I'm going to make, how much I'm going to keep, what car am I going to buy, like which vacation I'm going to send my mom and dad. I mean, those are all dreams and everyone has dreams and it's awesome to dream, but some dreams will never come true, right? So now at this stage, I'm always thinking about, okay, what am I going to do if price is going to go against me? Price reaches a support. Okay, I have a runner. How am I going to managing this trade? Am I closing a partial runner and letting it run more, or what am I going to do? I'm probably going to close partials and let the rest run. And if it comes down to this support, boom. Now I'm thinking what I'm going to do if price comes up against me. Am I securing runners? Am I bringing stops down? Like, what am I doing? Now slowly as price moves down, then I have like a, intraday swing trade. Because now it's at like 35, 36 pips, still pretty good. So I'm always thinking about what's going to be my downside. It doesn't matter when the move is going to get exhausted or not. Like I can close the stream and GJ can continue dropping till 135 even, right? Who knew it's going to drop down to 135 even? No one knows that. The only thing we can know is that, okay, price has reached a support. Are we going to secure profits or what are you going to do? Can you look at my chart? Let's take a look at this. Oh, this is someone else's chart. All right, this is your chart right here. Ooh, wrong chart, man. Wrong chart. I thought we weren't getting any wrong charts anymore, but goddamn, Gulag strikes again. Someone sent a wrong chart. I started securing when it closed that support with no wick at the bottom, but sure enough, it drops from a full TP. Yeah, maybe at that stage you could have secured like a partial position, or maybe let like 0.01 run to see if it actually goes down. Because the more you let positions run, even though they're like smaller positions, you're gonna start building your confidence. Oh, you got stopped at BE? Okay, yeah. But still, like this goes in the books as a perfectly executed trade. Your JPY is also dropping here further on. Nice hat. Thank you. Yeah, so we have a merchandise site up here. They're actually very cheap. Shopmfswag.com. Yeah, this is the merchandise site right over here. I think they have a discount coupon code which is valid till the 31st July, but still really cheap. Like $20 shirts comes up to like $18 USD. That's nothing, man. So so like we're not making anything off of that. It's just to spread the market fluidity brand and the love and what we do here every day. Check my chart. Let's see here. Oh, nice. You're taking a buy right over here. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Price is perfect, man. Makes sense. I'm not going to say anything about this because like apparently I mean, here's the thing: when price is going against you, you have to ask yourself, what's the probability it's going to work over and over and over again? And the probability is really, really low. Like I used to do these things to say, oh, look, I have a nice wick entry, and most of the times it didn't work at all. So then I started waiting for confirmations. So if you're doing this, I see that you're probably well, I'm not going to say anything because then people get mad. When looking left or for key levels, how would I know if it's support resistance? I think you need to send a chart.
So what we said was going to happen is happening. Surprise, surprise.
I learned to put my stop loss at break even only after 10 pips in profit. I entered up at this, stop at break even, and got stopped out. Oh, nice. What do you use as a confirmation when price breaks out of a range? Experience. What do you use as a confirmation? No. Have you heard about the London daybreak strategy? I heard about that 1,000 times every time I used to open a YouTube video. Every time. Bro, every time that dude would show up.
Dude, his stream must be super. He probably get like 2-3 million streams, man.
Man, I remember his ad. His ad would start with, imagine. It would start with, imagine the London breakout strategy. In 20 minutes every day, you can make hundreds of dollars. Imagine. I mean,
There's another guy now that claims he was a hedge fund owner and a White House advisor, and he turned like 700,000 into like, I don't know, some ridiculous amount. And then when you Google the guy's name, he doesn't even pop up anywhere as anything. Like literally people are just buying ads and saying, hey, buy my course. There's just like everyone's caught on to the fact that ads now on like social media are like those Nigerian prince emails. You know what? If I spend like $2,000 and I can hit like 90,000 people or 100,000 people, all I need is like 10% of those people to buy something from me, and I'm gonna make money. It's actually rather interesting to watch now that all these YouTube video commercials and social media commercials are all just like the updated version of the Nigerian prince emails, but they're just like built differently. Instead of saying, hey, send me money, it's like, hey, we'll give you this course. If you buy my course, you'll be successful. And here you go. Here's a video for me on YouTube on a commercial saying that I've done this. And go ahead and click the link to continue.
yeah, so get this, and you're gonna retire, and you're gonna make thousands and thousands of dollars, just like me. Yeah, it doesn't really work. All right, what's this? BioVision Harmony. Watch the magic unfold. $21,000. What's this? 8K? No, yeah, this isn't 8. Oh, yeah, it's 8K. Yeah, we only talk about 8K TVs. That $100,000 TV. Holy shit, man.
Sorry for offending anybody from Nigeria. That was not my intention. That was the connotation that they had a while back. That's all. So.
A while back, it still exists, man. Don't be nice.
Well, there are good Nigerian people. I'm just saying, it's not everybody. So yeah, it's like, geez, I get like all the people in the gulag coming after me with like a stick or something or a pitchfork. Yeah, I'm from Nigeria. Why are you saying that?
Why you talk about my country like that?
Exactly. It's like, don't leave me now. Don't leave me now.
Yeah, I never understood that TikTok. Like, don't Don't leave me. Don't leave me.
It's because he has like a walking disability, and it's the joke he plays. Like he's playing on himself because he can't walk properly. So he's like, "Don't leave me now."
I don't get it. I mean,
Well,
why
he's
would
making light of his disability, that he has like something wrong with one of his legs.
so maybe someone left him before
Yeah, I think so.
because he can't walk. Maybe he couldn't walk. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't understand this generation anymore. Like TikToks is like looking through the eyes of teenagers, as some things are so off, and it's just like, wow.
TikTok is very, very dangerous. It's just a dangerous world, that place. I don't. If I had kids, I would not allow my kids on that
Nah.
on that app. There is just way too much. Like it's almost like toilet bowl. It's like literally the sewer system of the internet, because you can see like such a wide variety of things, and there's really no censorship at all in terms of like what is being done or how it's being done.
Man, the thing is, what's wild is like you can have a 14, 15-year-old make an account, and then you can have people comment on the things they do. And when you think about grown-ups on Instagram taking rude comments to heart, man, think about these kids taking those comments to heart.
Oh yeah.
Like someone says you're fat. A grown-up was gonna say, oh yeah, whatever. A teenager, man, she's gonna say, wow, I'm fat. All right, time to go on anorexic diet or whatever. It's just so, I mean, it's just dangerous. Like those little minds, they're not built to cope with so much, like social interaction. It's very dangerous. I think they should have like an age limit on TikTok, age limit on Instagram. Um, I remember my nephew turned 13 and he wanted an Instagram account and he was banned. They're like, no, you're gonna get an account when you're 18, not when you're 13. Shut the fuck up.
Not to mention TikTok's got that security risk with China.
I didn't give a shit about that.
Looking at my phone and shit.
Yeah, China's what's going to do? Look at my MetaTrader screenshots.
Yeah, what do they want to know what I'm having for dinner tonight? Like,
Yeah.
oh, look at this guy. This guy's having steak 2 nights in a row. That's going to cause his heart to explode.
Yeah, I think it's more dangerous when someone from a higher level looks at that in a way that, okay, now the Chinese has ability. Now the Chinese has access to these pool of people, and they have access to all their data, which they can use to advertise. So I think like big marketing and advertisement agencies are looking at that as, okay, now they're probably stealing our customer base.
Mm.
I think in that way they're instilling this fear in the public that, no, Chinese have man, like I have my phone, right? I have my phone. This is more risk than TikTok. Like someone out there can turn on the microphone, start listening to this conversation right now. They can turn on the camera, start watching us. I think that's an even bigger risk than TikTok. They're just instilling this fear that, oh, Chinese, they're watching you from TikTok, they're gathering information. Yeah,
No, I agree with you. I mean, I don't think we have as much to worry about, but when it comes to Chinese in America, like the hostility going on right now, the fact that it is a potential risk for them to be going into our phones and stealing data as far as like what's actually on here as far as bank accounts or whatever you want to call it. I'd just rather not have it on my phone if that's even like a risk, That's what I was recording all my trades on. Now I'm trying to figure out another app I can do it.
I think the bigger thing is sort of misinformation that, hey, if we give you so much hype about some other country doing something, we can do it underneath your nose without you realizing it. And then if something happens to come out in terms of maybe one of our programmers or NSA guys make an error and it's breached, and people try to start putting conspiracy theories on like the US government, then they can just be like, oh no, we told you it was China, that's what they're doing. Like I think it's a very big narrative. The media plays a very big role in
Oh yeah.
painting different countries like Russia and China and like they're super bad, and it's like, well, I mean, everybody can be super bad. Like, I mean, all the Nigerians in the gulag are going nuts on me saying we're not scammers. I'm like, I know that. Like, it's just like, I'm not 5 years old. I was just giving an example of those emails we used to receive. But it's one of those things where there's a lot of bias based on the media that you watch. And I think if you're a little bit more in tune to that, you start to realize, like, as an example, which media outlets are Republican biased, which media outlets are Democrat biased. And then, you can start to see the exact story with two different narratives. And it's up to you to make a conscious decision. The issue becomes most people are sheep. So what they do is, they have their favorite news network, and that's the only thing that they believe. When usually the truth is part of someone's answer and then part of the other person's answer. It's never one side. There's always two sides to the story that create the truth at that point.
Absolutely. I mean, the problem is journalism isn't journalism anymore.
No.
They're just spewing their opinion, and that's it. They're manipulating the audience. And I mean, when it comes down to like China, Russia, and all that stuff, I definitely agree with what you're saying. I just don't trust the communist government at all. Yeah. China is working 24/7 around the clock to take America over, or just to become number one in the world. They've been trying for decades. But I choose to stay away from the news. I like to get my own research online.
And this is where our stream is now no longer allowed on YouTube, because we're starting to talk about communist theories.
Next topic. Next topic.
And that's further.
Sorry, YouTube, we won't do it again. This has to be moved to satellite radio. Rakeel, you got to get your own channel on satellite radio, so we have more. We can say whatever we want without being watched and muted.
Howard Stern.
Yeah. Oh, my computer's getting slower now. Oh,
oh. It just blows up.
Yeah, once that thing started, I was like, I don't know, we should talk about that or not. Yeah. That's worse than showing gore, man. I mean, damn, it's a very thin gray line. It's funny how it's freedom of speech, but then it's not. It's like filtered speech. Raja Saab, can you have a look at this chart? Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. This is, oh, god damn. You had a really good entry in the opposite direction. Oh, wow, man. This is amazing. All right, let's take a look here. So we had support here. So there was no reason to take a buy when you had a support coming up to a retest. Did that candle close with no wick at the top? You see this candle here? Closed with no wick on the top. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just very difficult. Could you please advise where would you have put support line? Yeah, you just did it right here. Yeah, but like, at least now we can learn something from it, right? Yeah, so kind of like, let's learn and move on. And GJ, it looks like it's going to continue down towards 135,800. Would we have known this? No. But would we anticipate it? Yes. Euro JPY. Oh, very nice. Someone sent me a chart and they were looking for sells below here, and I actually sent them the chart back, and I told them to maybe look to see how you could have taken the trade in this area, and this is exactly how this would have executed. So this is a very, very good trade. Very good trade. 135,800, very important level. It may reverse from there. What I want to know is that someone who took this sell right over here, this is why these buys are very risky. When you're taking trades when candles are not in your direction. So that's when you get destroyed. You know, it's kind of like what our friend from the UK did yesterday when they took sells on on EJ when price was just very bullish. You know,
Yeah, I don't understand. I
I
don't
don't understand.
understand. This stupid TikTok. I, I I've seen that a lot. Like when I first started trading 6 years ago, I saw people doing these kind of trades where they would take positions as the candles were going the opposite way, hoping that it would start to drop because they mapped out some magical area on their chart and said that at this area, there's going to be a rejection and that's why we're going to go down. I think we have to change the way that we approach the charts. The marking of the area is correct in the sense that, there could be a reaction at that part, but you need to wait for the candles to give you the guidance or price to move in the direction away from that rejection before you take a position. I think on social media, there's this connotation, or the way people do things is they want to be heroes and think because they see a rejection to the left, like on the higher time frames, that we're going to have that same rejection again, just because the market moves in waves. I understand 100% that theory that hey, chances are we're going to reject over here. My question always arises is, why do we have to sit in such a heavy drawdown just to make sure that we catch that move from the rejection? So as an example, there was a lot of people shorting Euro JPY, right? And we talked about this yesterday, that wasn't an advisable idea because the daily candle was bullish, and for the most part, the weekly candle was bullish. Even still, if we look at the way candles form on the weekly time frames, and this goes back to just very basic fundamental beginner trading, not fundamental in the sense of like economic news, but fundamental as in practicing proper technique or proper instruction. Anytime that there's a trend on the higher time frames, it's never going to be just one candle. So let's say, for example, you want to catch the daily trend. You want to swing, right? You say, Ted, I'm a swing trader. Scalping sucks. You guys don't know what you're doing. You're gambling. And I say, hey, all the power to you. There is no position on the charts, if you look closely, that when you take a swing position or a position for a lot of pips, that one candle is going to make or break you in that sense. So what I'm saying is, people trying to call tops or bottoms, as an example, say Euro JPY. Right now, we rejected 124, right? So everybody's loading up on sells. 124 is the selling area. It's going down. Okay. But think about it logically. The candle all this week has been bullish. Wouldn't we want to wait for the next week's candle to start and see if that opens bearish to start the descent? Why are we trying to fight a candle that has had very heavy bullish pressure the entire week, when if we know that a trend is going to change, there's going to be at least 2 to 3 bearish candles for the weekly time frame that will change that direction and give us a trade that we want without the stress of a mega drawdown. And I mean, it's a rhetorical question. You don't need to answer it. I don't want to see responses, but just think to yourself logically, like if I'm going to swing trade, why wouldn't I just wait for the candles to appear in the direction that I'm looking to swing trade? Knowing that the trend will continue for at least 2 to 3 candles, whether it's 2 to 3 daily candles, 2 to 3 hour candles, 2 to 3 weekly candles. Like, why wouldn't I put myself in a better position? And I think fundamentally, like I said, that's the most simplest question you can ask yourself as a new trader is, why am I trying to trade against candles going the opposite direction? It makes no sense. It's counterintuitive to me. That's like trying to, push your car in reverse when all you have to do is push the car into drive and the car moves itself. Like, why are we hoping that the car is going to go why are we trying to force it to go the wrong way? Just go the way that it's meant to go. Like, let it do its thing. And I think if you start to remove yourself from that idea that the perfect entry exists, the perfect exit exists, you're going to find that trading becomes much more profitable, much easier, and stress-free, because you're like, hey, there's 5 time frames all bearish, I guess I should sell. Or hey, there's 4 time frames all that are bullish, I guess I should buy. And then when the trade works out, you're like, wow, that trading is easy. And I mean, this is not like any sort of like special scientific data or some like I guess astrophysics that we're teaching here. It's just, I mean, common sense. You look at the chart. Like I can look at a euro chart, the euro JPY on the weekly, and I can see that there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of bullish pressure, and we went up for 4 weeks, 5 weeks, right? So now, if we're going to go down, hey, look, you got this one, you got this one. So even you can watch this whole week's candle probably go to here, and you can still take more down over here. And you know what? You won't be in any drawdown. And, you know, trying to catch this magical top here and be like, I told you so. I told you it was going to reject there. But you're not helping anybody. You're not doing anybody justice, because, you know, entering down over here and being like, oh, we're going to continue down, and then having this much of a drawdown, what's the benefit of that? I mean, you could easily have just waited for this candle to reject and go down, and then started taking trades, sells from here, knowing that we have confirmation up here that we are going down. And if the trade continued to go up here, same idea, just, you know, now you have confirmation over here that the trade is going down. This to me is not down. This is just a pullback. This is like a fat guy at a buffet. He's eating, and over here he's like, man, I'm full. I'm taking a break, and then I'm going for dessert. Right? Like, I mean, that's sort of how I look at that stuff. This is now the fat guy's leaving the buffet, and all his family members are leaving afterwards. Right? So I'd leave with the family. I wouldn't leave with the original fat guy. I'd let him get in the car, warm it up, and then I'd leave with the family. Over here, family's not leaving yet. So, like, doesn't make any sense to me. Keel is talking to Sinan, and Sinan's listening because he's on mute.
Oh yeah. Ashley Garlic sent a chart here. Previous support got broken heavily. So yeah, I think it's good. It's on a 4-hour chart. I was going to say that the AUD and the JPY is closed, so there's no point in trading that in New York session. But I mean, if you're looking on the 4-hour, it kind of makes sense here. You know, maybe you can put your stops, something that, like, you know, maybe secure some profits and whatnot, and let the rest run. Looks good. I've been following this channel for a while now, and I think you guys offer one of the best practical advice. Love from India. Oh, thank you, thank you. When you go on vacation, do you still trade or take a break? I do. I haven't been on a vacation that much. Last vacation was like last year. Probably not. I don't know. I still do. Sometimes I don't. It depends. It's very hard to answer. It depends what's happening in the moment. Can't wait GJ to be bullish. Perfect. What do you think about Samuel Leach? I think nothing about that person. I have no idea. Well, his those shows he does on YouTube, they're pretty entertaining. But other than that, I have no idea what he does, who he is. Don't you like swing trading? No, I don't like swing trading. I don't like my positions to be open for a number of hours or days. I want to know the outcome in the next 15, 20 minutes and call it a day. And that's what happened this morning. We took a sell, knew the outcome was positive, called it a day, and that's it. Had a stress-free trade today. Could you please help me out about the concepts? When price goes up without retest and break resistance, price might always come back and touch at least the wick of the resistance. True? It depends. It's very subjective. Do you think 5% a week is a good goal? Yeah, I think 5% a week, 20% a month is an amazing goal. Amazing. Do you think scalping is possible using standard accounts? Spread always eat me. I think you need smaller spread. Would you consider watching trading another pair? What would be the situation? There would be no, I wouldn't look at another pair to trade. I mean, there's only GBPJPY and that's it. Sometimes gold, like sometimes, but mostly it's GJ. Hey Raja, how do you know if you enter too early? Thank you. If you get stopped out. I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, either you're entering early if you're not waiting for candles to close, or I mean, what's going on? Depends on what you're doing. What advice would you have for someone that works a 9 to 5 and wants to trade? Okay, awesome. If you work 9 to 5 and you're looking for a time to trade, I think you need to first figure out what time of the day works for you best. You know, what time of the day works for you best? Is it in the morning, evening time? What time of the day works for you best? And then you got to look at that time. And once you look at the time, now you got to look at the market, right? So you got the time, and now you look at the market. So once you look at the market, you're going to be like, okay, at this time, what session is open in the market? You know, and then you start focusing on that. And you start looking to see how price is moving. You actually start studying it, you know, and then once you start looking at it more and more, you start to get, like, you know, better at anticipating and watching. And second entry is on EJ shorts if it respects the break of the current support. Right here, if it respects the support, yeah. I mean, if it comes up to do a retest, then I think second entries would make sense for price to continue down towards, what's this price? 123.780. It's in a 15-16 pip range. Yeah, it would make sense. Love the trading vibe. The music is amazing. Oh, thank you. If you know that the market will move in your favor, wouldn't you trade higher lots to maximize your profits? I think you don't have enough experience in the market yet. Raja, sometimes in addition to GJ, I trade the German DAX. Does that make me a renegade gulag scum of the earth? No, I think that makes you a degenerate in the gulag. Who
We do
goes
not
for...
have the facilities for this, big man.
Yeah, you're way far ahead of the gulag, man. Our cats is very knowledgeable.
Yes.
Yeah.
We don't have the facilities for this.
Yeah. GJ and GU very much correlated, but spread is very high for GJ than GU. Then why GJ, not GU? The reason why I don't trade GU in the New York and London overlap is because the pair GBP USD is influenced by the pound and the US dollar. But the pair GJ is only influenced by the pound. So I'd like to trade something that's only influenced by one thing. You know, think about this, right? Think about this. You're trying to go for a girl, and that girl is being influenced by 10 of her friends and all of her family members. And then on the other end, you have the same girl, but she's influenced by only one person. So what are you going to go with? Someone that's being influenced by just one person, so you have to worry about just one person, or you got to go with someone who's being influenced by a lot of other people. So there you go. You know, you can be a cowboy and go with the other one, but I'm gonna be I'm gonna be I'm gonna be a safety Sally and go with someone, you know, influenced by just one person.
There's a lot of opinion-based questions always being asked. I don't understand the opinions. Like, how does that help you trade if you hear opinions constantly? There's a few people here that are asking formula type questions, like if this happens 4 times, would this happen here? Or if this happens here, does this happen here? These are not concepts that you should be trying to follow. A lot of people here are trying to box in a style of trading to say, hey, if I do this X amount of times over the next year, I'm going to be a millionaire. I know where you're heading. I know where a lot of these questions are heading because I've answered similar questions like this over the years, and I've answered them 10,000 times. You're trying to create a systematic approach to something that's dynamic. You know, as an example, what you're trying to do is you're trying to run on the beach. And you're saying that every day I'm going to run on the beach and I'm going to run without shoes on, and I'm going to run with just bare feet. And I'm going to tell you that that's possible every day, but it's going to change depending on the time of day, depending on how many people are on the beach, depending on how far you're running, depending on how far depending on how you feel as a person. What did you eat for breakfast? You can run on the beach, but there's always going to be variables that you're going to have to account for, and how you handle those variables is how you're going to complete that run on the beach, right? I know that if I go running early in the morning on the beach, there's not that many people there. I also know that if I go running right by the shoreline, that the sand is going to be colder than it's going to be than if the water's not touching it. If I run on the beach in the middle of the day, it's going to be hotter. There's going to be more people. The sand is going to be hotter. I might not be able to run as far. I might be a little bit tired from doing stuff before. So when you try and trade in that same dynamic where you're like, hey, if I see a retest here on the 15-minute time frame, I enter here, and where should my exit be? And it's like, that's not how trading works. There's no such thing as, well, I just wait for the 15-minute candle to close, and you know, we get the final touch or the retest of this zone, and then I take a sell or I take a buy. There's no such thing. The concept is, hey, I wait to see how price reacts at a certain level, at a certain time frame, and if that matches up with an idea that I've planned out, I execute on that. There is no set formula that I have to wait 3 candles, I have to turn around, touch my nose, lift my leg in the air, put a tinfoil hat on to take a trade. There's no such rules. The rules are implemented for your comfort level to say, hey, I've seen this happen enough times, chances are it will happen again based on the current structure of the market. And if I don't see that current structure of the market, I can't execute a position and I have to sit and wait. When you start trading that way, you're going to find trading becomes a lot more fluid, and it becomes easier for you because you won't miss opportunities. You will see opportunities because of the fact that they match up with criteria and structure in the market that you've seen before and that you are profitable on.
What's the support forming here? If next candle close bullish, I will take a buy, stop below the last candle, TP target up over here. Okay, that makes sense. Makes sense. So you're basing this off of this support forming, and you think the price is going to go up. What I would look at this as, price coming down, making a low, and potentially creating like a minor resistance to continue moving down. That's what I would look at this as. Especially the 4-hour candle is about to close in 30 minutes. So that's something I personally would be looking at. I mean, of course, you know, now you have this range on a 30-minute, and this range goes up to like, you know, 22 pips. But at the same time, it's GJ. If you're waiting for sells, you're waiting for a minor resistance to be formed. If you're looking for buys, then you're looking for buys up in this range here. So There are two things. Either like buys are risky because this candle closed with a small body, has a big rejection, so like not sure if the buys are going to work. But I'm personally, if I was looking for sells, if I missed these sells, I would be waiting for a minor resistance to be formed for price to continue down to retest 135.950. Mark out daily wicks and make support and resistance zones and make a scenario of retest to fulfill the wick. Am I right? Yes. I think if you send a chart, we can know better. Man, why do people keep sending the same comment over and over again? All right. I think the trade of the day was GJ sells over here. The unemployment numbers came pretty bad. Came like 1.4 million. Not that bad. Your JPY also came down. It may create a resistance and continue down to this area. Yeah, I think it was a pretty good day with these sells here. So this thing worked. Higher time frame rejection and then breaking the smaller time frame zone there. I think this is what I'm going to focus on for the next 2-3 months. Massive newbie. How do I know when to look at what currency pair? Perfect. See, if you're a new trader and if you're coming on, so let's say so you're a newbie and you're coming in on this specific session. This specific session is when now you got to look at what countries are open, right? The US is open, the European countries are open, so then basically now you're going to look to see, okay, either I want to trade the USD pairs or you want to trade one of the European pairs. Someone asking, how come I don't trade AUD/JPY? I don't know how to answer that question because, if I answered you have to use your brain, right? And when you use your brain, you ask yourself, okay, if I'm going to trade AUD/JPY, right? Or if I'm going to trade GBPJPY, right? You have to ask yourself, okay, is the AUD open at this time? The answer is going to be no. Okay, there's a cross right there, no. Is JPY open at this time? The answer is going to be no. So you hit cross, right? Then you're like, okay, maybe this is the trade I don't want to trade at this time. And then you look at GBPJPY, right? Is GBP open at this time? Yes. Is yen open at this time? No. Right? So now GBPJPY will have an easier time moving in this session because it's only being influenced by one currency pair, right? And this is actually very simple. It's not that hard. Now you have GBP/USD and you have Euro/USD. If you're looking at GBP/USD, now you got to ask yourself, okay, is the pound open? Yes. USD is open? Yes. But will it be easier to trade? I think it'll be a little harder to trade because GBP/USD is being influenced by two currencies, right? And for GBP/USD to really move, you would need one currency to be either very, very strong or very, very weak. Same thing goes for Euro/USD. You would need one to be very strong and very weak. So there are two variables at play in these two scenarios. With GBPJPY, with Euro/JPY, you don't have many scenarios at play. You only have one currency pair at play. Hope that answers the question why I don't trade AUD/JPY in a session when both pairs are closed, both currencies are closed. Sometimes, like if you spend a little bit of money to get some education, man, it goes a long way. Trust me, man. Like I've seen people lose way more than what they're afraid to invest. Man, I had this one person message me yesterday. He's like, he has bought so many courses. He spent around 12,000 in buying courses. I'm like, okay, I'm doing a webinar. It's $30. Just go with that. He's like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to spend $30. And I'm like, man, you spend 12,000 on courses. You're not even profitable. And you're coming through the live streams every day. You're learning a lot, and I don't know what this means. Are people looking at just the marketing aspect of the social media? That okay, yeah, you know what, this guy has things I want. If I take this course, I think I'm gonna get the same things. It's not gonna happen. Then trading is not for you. You need to stop trading. If you're coming to trading to make money, it's not gonna work out ever. So you gotta stop it. What's this here? If price reject, look for bullish candle. I think it's very bearish. The buys are, I don't think the buys are there, man, because this candle closed like a weak bullish candle. What was this? Yeah, the candle closed like a weak bullish candle. What else was here? Price breaking of the high. If price closed below here, I can see bearish, waiting for the low of the candle. Yeah, looks good. Looks good. You know, like if you see bearish, it can continue down. If you look on the 15-minute time frame, now in the 15-minute, if this 15-minute breaks the low over here, then there's a higher chance it's going to continue moving down. It's possible your content is so cheap compared to what is used to that somehow the views must inadequate to price so low. Yeah, I think, yeah, like a number of people have told me that too. They're like normally the courses they buy are like $800, $1,000, $2,000, and when they see something priced so low, they're like, yeah, I don't think if it's legit or not. You know, it's kind of like when I came to trading, I mainly thought about that, man, like trading, like you have to be very professional. You have to like study a lot of things. It's a lot of it's a lot of science involved. And once I really got good at it, I figured, man, there's no science in trading at all. Like price is just moving up or down. And you just need to figure out based on statistical history, like of the way candles form and the way they move in certain sessions, it's really easy to identify where price is going to go, right? Either it's going to range or it's going to go up or down. Like right here, there are chances it can go down, there are chances it can go up, you know, but if we now try to look at this and try to say that, okay, looking at the 15-minute, if this current 15-minute closes bullish, there's a higher chance price is going to go up, and that would mean that price is going to maybe do like a retracement of this move coming down, you know. But if this 15-minute closes bearish in the next 5 minutes, and the one after that closes below this area, then there's a high chance price is going to go down, right? So right now we are unsure where it's going to go. So we're now looking at, okay, if it breaks this area, the probability of it going down is higher. You know, there's no indicators needed. There's no nothing. Where can I buy a webinar? You can't. It was a one-time thing. No, you can't. Nothing. Can't do it. The thing I wrote down today was when price breaks the high time frame, it will have the high chance of breaking the low time frame. Yes, that is something I've been looking at for a long time. Waiting for the 15 minutes to close and waiting for the next 15 minutes to break the low of the previous one for my entry. Yep, looks good. Looks good, looks good. Can you look at this on US 30? All right. Te bagi sa fasam un group senaim partasim. Wow, that's some difficult language over there. I think that's Indonesian. What's this? US 30. Waiting for 1 hour candle to reject this 27,000. Create support and anticipate to push up with NYC open. Yeah, sure. I mean, we're approaching this consolidation area here to the left, right? And this consolidation has a resistance and a support, right? So this is the resistance on this consolidation, which matches up here, and then this is the support of this consolidation. So yeah, you could get a move going up if you get like a support form, but it's very bearish right now. How do you confirm a rejection when you have a higher time frame candle closing against you? Don't let that motivate you to increase price. No, I won't. I won't. I already have enough money problems. Can you scam us on gold? I don't know, man. Gold might scam me. I just don't want to take that chance. I don't want to take that chance.
There's a support at 1875, 1874 area. I would look to see that if once we break that, we should head back up. A safe take profit point will probably be around 1882. But I do have a feeling we're going to range a bit in here. But if you caught the bottom at 1874, 1875, you should be safe up to 1882 at least. There's a massive rejection between 1882 and 1886, which if you were here on Monday, we specifically talked about. So if you want to learn about gold, go back to the stream on, I think it was Monday or Tuesday. We actually did a full breakdown on how we were going to go through that zone at the monthly candle, and we actually pierced it. And if you notice, the top part of that rejection is the top part of the monthly close from 2011. So if you want to go learn something about that trade and about how that would have operated, you could go back to the previous streams this week, and we specifically broke that down all the way, and we talked about how it would break through to that zone, what it could possibly do. And to be honest, I wasn't expecting it to go to 1886 in 1 week, but we legitimately did in 4 days, because we talked about this, I think, on Monday, and we said that we were entering a zone at 1820, and that from 1820 to 1880 or so, you might find that there's going to be a little bit of trouble, but it literally ripped right through it. So that was the other conclusion that we had. How long did it take me to train Raja? Raja cannot be trained. He is his own person.
Yeah, it's not like apprenticeship where you're teaching how to weld. Like you're not diffusing bombs, you know. Thoughts on GU? All right, let's take a look here. Price retested support level, came back up and closed on first level. Now wait for candle to close for more confirmation. Potential uptrend to top of the range. Yeah, makes sense. I mean, now we can see, this candle's about to close. 30-minute candle is going to close in the next 15 minutes. So it looks like it's rejecting the support. Why your support is always on bottom of the wick and not on my body? I can't answer that because you need to send a chart to show what you do on your chart. Because copying my things is going to leave you confused all the time, so you need to learn on your own way. You can't copy stuff. What were some pivotal changes you made to become a better trader? 1 or 2 trades a day. 1 to 2 trades a day and keeping losses small. That was the biggest turning point. One thing to appreciate is you have grown. From back those days, you weren't serious and you were on some kiddish things to see. Oh, thank you. I think as the viewership grew, the responsibility grew as well. That was basically what it was. The viewership grew. We have some important people watch us too. So I guess had to get a little bit more professional and to really filter out some of the noise, because in the beginning, yeah, it's in the past, whatever. I see you don't use trend lines. Yes, I don't. I know they're very subjective, but what is the reason you don't use them? Because they're subjective. I just use zones that cover the body and the shadow too, but not when it's not too long. Yeah, that's fine. Everyone uses their own different ways. Oh, so the 15-minute candle closed with a small bullish doji candle, and the 30-minute is still open. So kind of like we're waiting for this 30-minute to close, I guess. 4 hours also coming to a close. As it's going bearish, I think as this 15-minute breaks the low of the previous 15-minute, and then the previous one here, I think we're going to continue moving bearish. So those are some conditions you need to keep in mind. With great power comes great responsibility. That's true. I'm here because banks send me after saying rates of interest you can earn are changing from, oh wow, yeah. The interest you can gain on a savings account has been reduced from 1.5 to 0.6. What do you think about bots? I don't think anything about bots. I think bots don't affect the way I trade. What's a nice book on candles? The charts. Please give advice to me like a rushing to grow a small account about 150. I think if you can only afford 150 to trade, I don't think you can afford to trade Forex. Forex is very expensive, so you should be able to afford to trade Forex. Don't get me wrong, someone might say, oh yeah, you can grow 150 to $100,000 for sure, go ahead, be my guest. But for the majority, I would say that 150 is way too low. I think you need some more work to do financially before thinking about trading Forex. Let's take a look at this chart here. Although recent movement is bearish, should we look for a buy if confirmation? Yeah, I mean, if you get a nice, healthy, bullish candle forming, you can look for buys, but so far there are no nice, healthy, bullish candles forming. What do your magic keys do and where can I buy it? Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know if you are blind or your screen is blurry or I don't know what's going on. I mean, if you look at the YouTube stream, all the information is on the screen, literally on the screen. I don't know. My boy turned $220 to 15K in 3 weeks. Well, awesome. That's perfect. What do you think about Candlestick Bible and Trading in the Zone? I think Trading in the Zone is a pretty good book, but in Trading in the Zone, they all talk about how to be disciplined, how to not fall in impulses, how to break habits, and the only way to be disciplined is 1 to 2 trades a day. My boy turned 220 to 15K. Yeah, I read that, Max. Oh. Yeah, the gulag is on fire today. If you look at GG on 1 hour, it looks like a fake out. What reason for sell happened? What reason for sell? I think you need to look at the you need to go through the recap to see why the sell happened. Small lot is too slow, I think. Yes, small lot is slow, but that's where the power is, because when things are slow, that's where you build foundations. You build very strong foundations, and once those foundations are strong, things are going to go really, really well, once you start up to bigger lot sizes. Man, I remember when we first moved to Canada, we moved with the dream of, having a leather brand in different malls, just like 10 years ago. When we moved to Canada, we came with around 10 luggage bags. 6 of them had our clothes, the 4 of them had our leather stuff we wanted to sell. We opened up a store in Charlottetown, PEI. It's at the very east coast in Canada. And everyone told us, oh yeah, store's not going to do well because no one's going to buy leather and stuff like that. So we opened up the store anyway, fuck what haters think, right? We opened up the store. The first year, monthly sales average was $400. So a family of 6 moved to a new country, rented a home, and the monthly sales on average were like $400, $500, for the first year. And that first year we all worked, because in my culture, it's not really like you don't let females do all the heavy lifting. Like you don't let the females work because it's like the man's job to take care of the family and stuff like that. So everybody was working, because we had to work. And then the first year was like $400, per month. The second year was like $600-700. This was like in 2010, 2012. Yeah, 2010, 2011, 2012. And it was pretty slow. So I had to leave school. I left school to go work on the rigs to make some money, support the family and stuff like that. I did that, and the leather business was self-sustaining itself. 10 years forward, last year, the whole company, retail and online, we reported like around 1.2 million in sales last year. 10 years ago, the yearly sales was like $12,000, $13,000. And 10 years forward, 1.2 million in sales. It took time, man. Like people said, oh, you only did 12,000 this year. Man, this is going to fail. This is going to fail. We said, no, this is not going to fail. We're going to be in malls. And right now we're in 3 malls. We have 4 wholesalers that buy from us. Daniel Leather went out of business. They went bankrupt. One of the biggest leather retailers. Man, that's inspiration. You just can't give up. You know, if things are slow, that's good because you're building foundations. And trading, I looked at trading the same way. I started with 10-cent lots with the $700 account with Ted 4 years ago, and you know, had some ups and downs, and then like, you know, but built my foundation strong. Start with smaller lots, you know, like 10-cent lots, moved to like 1 lots, now moved to, you know, 15 lots, 20 lots. Give me a call if you want to be on Amazon. Currently doing 2.5 million a year. Yeah, Amazon. We tried Amazon. They're taking a lot of fees. It eats up a lot of our profit margin. So we're staying away from Amazon. Okay, Pete. Okay, we'll talk about that. What's the name of the letter? It's called, it's Heights Canada. HeightsCanada.com. I think, yeah, this is the website, HeightsCanada.com. We're optimizing the website here. It's kind of slow today. Oh, there you go. Yay, Heights Canada. I remember I built the site like 5 years ago on WordPress, and now there's an agency that handles it. Yeah, came a long way on Heights Canada. But you know, like dreams do come true. Like we used to walk in the malls and we used to look at Daniel Leather and we used to say, man, wow, I wish one day we could be in the malls, you know. And the mall rent was like 12,000 a month, and our sales were 12,000 a year, you know. So it just took time. You know, now our retail stores were paying 25,000 a month in total rent. You know, 25,000 there, 3,000 on the website, almost like 30 grand in just to keep the business up. But then, you know, like the consistent work we put in. Are you entering another position? No, I'm done for the day. My entry was right over here, took a sell, came down to like 10, 12 pips and called it a day. How much percentage you up this week? I'm not sure about this week, but this month I'm up about 55%. Yeah, 52%. When you guys decide to move from motherland, why Canada? Did you consider the options? Like, yeah, Canada was the easiest one. Canada was the easiest one to get into. That's why Canada. UK had to wait 10 years. US had to wait 12 years. Canada had to wait 3 years, but you had to move to PEI, Prince Edward Island. Do you manufacture? Yes. Now we do everything. Back then when we started our leather stuff, we would only place orders to factories. Now we control the whole pipeline. We from raw skins to tanning to stitching, manufacturing, wholesale distribution, everything. Because you know, like when you start to get bigger, you start controlling other aspects of your like, you know, your business. You start to own that to keep your margins up. Who's your role model, or who do you look up to? Doesn't have to be trading related. I don't know, like it has to be my dad, because if I look at that, I mean, that guy, he took a risk. He took a big risk by moving an entire family to a country where we knew no one, and he had this vision in his mind. He had this vision. His vision was that to get all his kids educated in Canada, get them married, and so that they can have like a good life, you know. And I think, I mean, yesterday I was talking to my brother, and we were talking about like how his vision came true. Like all my siblings are married, we all have good jobs, we're doing well in our life right now. You know, like we all own homes. So that vision came true. It just took time. It took him like 10 years. But it's a huge risk when you move to when you move into the abyss. You know, it's like when you try to trade in consolidation. You know, when you trade in consolidation, man, you're trading in the abyss. Like if you're trying to trade buys on US 30, very risky because you know it's very, very bearish. So and I think in life you need to take risks, you know, and from these risks you either learn or like you know, or you like kind of go forward. Will your trade target always be 10 pips? Yes, always be 10 pips. It has never changed. Where can I get started? Right here. Did you had more than 10% drawdown this year? No. Newbie in the USA. Does PDT rule apply to Forex? Not sure what that is. Yeah, it looks like GJ is going to continue moving bearish here. There were no sells. There were no sells. Let's take a look at this. The 15-minute also broke the lows. I used to follow a course that teach 10% a month. It's amazing. It's amazing. 10% a month is super amazing. The only reason I did more percentages because some of my trades, they ran more than 40, 50 pips. Otherwise, I would have been at maybe like 15, 20% this month. Like on the simulations, we do like 20% a week, you know, 25% a week on simulations. So I think in live, 50% a month is pretty okay. When you smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm, you're taking a huge risk. Yeah, you're taking a huge risk because then someone new can find the streams and benefit from it. Or I'm taking a risk because then they might turn out to be a troll. So I'm taking a big risk right there from telling everyone to like the smash the like button. What should I expect as a brand new trader? I think you should expect that it's not a get rich quick scheme. Trading, you're not gonna get rich quick. You're gonna get rich quick with time, you know. But when you come in here to want to make money, it's not gonna work. I mean, I've seen people be very, very successful who have had passion for trading. I know this one guy, he started trading stocks and he started trading options and then he started trading Forex. Good friend of mine. He attended my Toronto boot camp on Forex, which we had, I think, like almost like 6-7 months ago. And 2 weeks ago, he did his withdrawal for $150,000 and he bought a Porsche GT3 RS. You know, just because he didn't want money. He was already made money. He has one of the biggest snow plowing contracts here in Mississauga, here in like the GTA area. So he already had money, you know. So trading was his passion, you know. So came into trading. He liked it. Like he started doing well. He made some good money, and then he used that money to buy like a nice fast car, $250,000. Can we have him on Friday? No, he's not that important. But this is joking. He's probably listening to it, but I don't know. I'm trying to get a chart addicts on on Friday. Mr. John, Mr. John is probably here. He's like, what did he say? He's not important.
It was so quick too. You're like, nah, it's not important.
Yeah. Just took a trade on your USD. All right, let's take a look at this. Ooh, gold is continuing dropping down. US 30 continued moving too. All right, let's take a look here. This is okay. Break retest 15-minute zone, entering on bearish, engulfing on 5-minute retest. Okay. Closing 50% at 50% of TP, then stops to BE. Looks good. Looks good so far. Very nice. Very nice, very nice. Explain this to me. Why is it that success more or less becomes apparent after 30 years of age? Don't say experience. I think when you cross the 30-year mark, I think you start to look at life in a different perspective. You know, you start to look at, I mean, that's what happened to me, right? I mean, I don't know, call it coincidence or whatever, but like, you know, the way I started to grow up, you know, as I walked into my 30s, you know, I got married and I had a son and my responsibilities changed. So my whole definition of success changed. You know, someone might think that their success, definition of success could be having a fast car, or going on a vacation with friends on a private jet. I mean, awesome. That's a definition of success. My definition of success is totally different. In the same way we have Brandon here in the chat here and there's a webcam on, maybe his success is different. Maybe Ted has a different success level, so everyone's success is different. So it's like what you want. What I really wanted was I wanted to give my family a home, like someone they can say, okay, this is our home. Even though the bank owns it for a couple of years, that's fine. So I did that. I wanted no debt. Like I wanted to pay off my debt. I did that. I wanted to pay off, let's say someone's goal is to pay off their dad's credit card. So that's your focus, that's your goal. So you need to be very, very focused on your goals, and just know that reaching goals, man, it takes time. Reaching goals take time. There's no such thing as, yeah, you're going to reach your goal in the next week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks. I mean, everyone wants to make 100 grand on Forex. It's not going to happen in a week. It's going to take time, but you have to stay focused and disciplined. I was watching this video yesterday. It was about this sprinter from India. I forgot half the story, so let's not get into that. But you get the point, right? I mean, it just takes time. How do I weed out scammer and lifestyle promisers? Just go through Instagram profiles and just go through and see how many times are people posting about some sort of value, that you can look at that post and learn something, and how many times are they posting about the things they're doing. If you see that people are posting the things they're doing more than what actual value is, I think that's where you guys say, okay, yeah, you know what, maybe this is really affecting my psychology and maybe hindering my success, because now you're kind of like getting sidetracked. Yeah, so it's very important. You have to really protect what you feed your mind. Really, really protect your feed your mind. Like, I built these live streams. Oh, Mika Singh, yes, Mika Singh. That was the name of the sprinter, Mika Singh. Man, I watch a lot of things. I read a lot of things too. Yeah, because this whole stream, my whole following was built on value. Like, how can I provide something that no one's providing? My goal is to save 5,000. That will be the most I have saved in my life. I'm 40, almost half there since May, when I got off the streets and asked for help from VA. Oh, that's amazing, man. That is amazing. And trust me, if you can save 5,000 once, you can save that 100 more times. You can save that 1,000 times over. But that's your independent goal, and that's amazing. You're halfway there. That's awesome. Hey, loving the content. Do you trade with spread best to get an extra leverage? I don't know what spread betting is. Best broker for Canada? There are two good brokers for Canada. Depends. If you want to do like there's an Australian-based broker, Vantage FX, and there's another one, Traders Domain. You don't run, Raja. You don't run ads for YouTube brand. To be honest, I don't know how to run ads on YouTube. I really want to run ads for Magic Keys on YouTube, so that when people open up a YouTube video, they see Magic Keys, and I don't know how to do that. Well, we tried, but it didn't really work. Best broker for Germany? I don't know, man. I live in Canada. I mean, I think you'll have to Google that part. Any Canadian accountants you would recommend? The accountant I have, I'm probably changing that accountant, so I don't know. Let me know. The greatness of a man is not in how much wealth or success he acquires, but in his integrity and his ability to affect those around him positively. Yes, that is absolutely true. I have zero ego. I just don't have any patience for like really, really, really dumbass questions. Like, if I do this on the chart, right, like this, if I do this on the chart, and someone asks where is the stop loss and where is the entry, that's a dumbass question, right? I think we all can agree with that. All right, check this chart. Let's take a look at this. This is, ooh, don't overtrade, don't over risk. Exactly. Look at this mess over here, man. Nick Sean has a great YouTube ad guy from the UK. Oh yeah, I'm gonna ask him. Do you know the letter would? How did you know the letter would sell well in Canada? We didn't. We didn't know. When we moved here, we didn't know if leather was going to sell. This is why most people don't get in business. You know, there are a lot of people watching right now, and you have amazing, amazing business ideas. And the only reason you're not in the business is because you're constantly thinking, who's going to buy this? Will this really work? Will people appreciate this? Will people make fun of me? What will he say? What will she say? What about my competition? Someone is doing better than me. I can't compete with that. All those things are really going to stop you from doing the things you want to do. It's like the same thing when you want to execute a trade. Will this trade really work? Am I a loser? I've lost trades before. Will this work? Is this correct? Is this support correct? Is my risk okay? Man, just do it. You just got to take action. You know, if we would have thought about is the ledger's going to sell in Canada or not, man, we would have never moved. You know, but we came with the idea that, okay, you know what? It has to sell. We have the best product in the world. That was the whole mindset was not like if it's going to sell or not. The mindset was this is the best product in the entire world and it has to sell. That's how you go into business. You go into business thinking that this is the best what you can offer than anyone else is offering. Same with the Magic Keys, man. We've sold over 2,000 units on Magic Keys. Over 2,000 units. You know, you look at the Instagram page, it's got like 4,000 followers. That's nothing. We sold 2,000 units because it's the best in the industry right now. You know why like small brands grow a lot because they come through the marketplace knowing that they're the best in the business. Why is Traders Domain growing so much and gaining a lot of notoriety? Because it's the best in the business right now. It's the only offshore brokerage that has MetaTrader 5 platform on it. Only off, like it's not like it's, I'm not saying this because my friend owns it. I'm saying it because it's fact and you can't deny fact. It's just fact. You look at Hugo's Way, no MT5. You look at KOTFX, no MT5. You look at just name any offshore brokerage, man. They don't have MT5. Traders Domain has MT5. And that, to me, I'm just like, man, that's pretty crazy. So yeah, like if you have business ideas, you want to do something, just do it. If you fail, so what? So what if you fail? Man, I started a bracelets. I started selling bracelets. I had an Instagram page and I gave that page to some dumbass who I thought is gonna bring it forward. Urban Styles Co. Yeah, this is what it was called. Urban Styles Co. And yeah, this guy just didn't do anything. Let's see if this website is still up or not. Yeah, he basically ruined the whole brand. So yeah, this brand was like I was selling bracelets and stuff like that, and yeah, those bracelets failed. Didn't really sell anything. Then there was another one. I started selling weightlifting belts, and that failed as well. Didn't really work, And then I started selling shirts. That didn't work. And then I started working in the oil fields and started selling door to door. It worked. Door to door and working in the oil fields, it really gave me the ability to save money to do other things. Versus, can you give the difference for sell limit and sell stop? Yeah, so sell stop is placed below supports where you anticipate price to continue moving down. Sell limit is placed at like an area where you expect price to tap and come down. Can't you just Google YouTube advertising? Ben Harris, it's not that easy. It's just not that easy. I know where you're going with this, but it's not that easy. See you tomorrow. Thank you. See you. Good morning from Vancouver. Tried opening account on VantageFX, but couldn't open due to province restrictions. So which one you suggest, Oanda or Traders Domain? I think if you're trying to really, I would say if I was in your shoes, I would use Traders Domain. Oanda is good. Oanda is heavily regulated, and the only drawback with Oanda is that low leverage and you can't hedge positions. Like you can't open buy and sell at the same time on different pairs. Let's put it that way. Did you ever trade silver? No. It's actually doing big moves. So, okay, let's take a look at this final chart and then we're going to call it a day. But Traders Domain is not available for US or Canadian clients, is what it says on the website. Yeah, I think if you choose crypto, yeah, you can only deposit with crypto on that broker, on that brokerage. So you need to choose crypto. I mean, that's how I did it. It worked. All right, sell stop. Yeah, that's a perfect example of a sell stop below that area. So if price is retracing, it's probably going to create like a minor resistance and then continue down. That's something I'd be looking at. Big spreads on Oanda. Yes, big spreads on Oanda. Came from door-to-door sales background, teaches a lot of skills and discipline in general, plus, of course, good money and spliffs. Yes, that's true. I think door-to-door really taught me how to be patient. You know, like if someone has had the opportunity to work door to door and you actually did it for a year, man, you can understand the kind of grind required in door to door. Like you're knocking on people's doors trying to sell them something at the spot, man. You're getting doors slammed shut in your face. Like we would see people come on after 3 days they would quit, you know. And man, like the biggest paycheck I got was for about 12,000 in a week from door to door. 12,000 in a week, you know. So I mean, and when I make like 10,000, 15,000 in trading, that's okay, you know, because like I've seen that money before, so it doesn't really affect me. I mean, if I make more like 40, 50 in a week, wow, that's crazy money. You know, that's insane. So Americans can use Traders Domain if we use crypto. Yes. Yeah, door to door is a savage place. We were selling water filters and hot water tanks. Hot water tanks that we were selling per sale. We were getting around. I was a manager. I was getting $1,600 per sale. If you're looking at investing long term in a mineral market, lithium, nickel, cobalt. Oh, nice. Man, I remember this one time we went to Sault Ste. Marie. We went to Sault Ste. Marie, and this one street, on one street, I made around 8,000 in commissions in one street. Went to one house, gave them a double. Went to another house, they had really, really, really old hot water tank, at least 22 years old. It was literally patched up by bandages. Got them on a hot water tank. Walked on to the next house, they needed a water softener and they needed a new AC. Got them hooked on that. You know, it was insane. It was crazy. That was the best week of my life. Forex Tips is your company. No, it's not my company. Forex Tips, Funding Talent is not my company. I just have their link in my description because, you know, I like the way their whole funding thing is set up. You know, you can withdraw bi-weekly. You don't have to wait a month, 2 months, 1.5 months to withdraw. There's no test. You pay, you get a. So basically, the way it works is, from what I understood, is that let's say you pay $600. You know, you pay $600 to get a $100,000 demo account, right? So you get a $100,000 demo account. So you're paying to get a demo account. You know, you can make fun of that. I mean, I make fun of that. So once you get that demo account, if you, let's say, make 20,000 on that $100,000 demo account, then 10%, I forget what number it is, 10% or 30% is going to be put in a live account for you. Okay, so take this in. You paid $600 to get a $100,000 demo account. In a month, you made $20,000 on that demo account. Now that 20,000, from that 20,000, 10%, like 2,000 will be put in a live account for you. So you can withdraw that amount, you can start trading on that amount, you can do whatever you want. You know, it's Funding Talent. I'm talking about Funding Talent. There's a link in my YouTube description. So that's one thing I really liked about that, was that you can get that money in a live account and you can start trading that. Or you can keep running up your demo account. You know, if you run that 100,000 to 150,000, then that 5,000 is going to go into a live account. And then you can withdraw that if you want. Oh, 5% per month into live account. Okay. Yeah, 5% per month. That's still pretty good. You make 20,000, you get $1,000. Yeah, we're not getting Nick Sean tomorrow. Nick was busy. I talked to him yesterday. He was busy. He was doing something with his in-laws. So probably gonna. I'm trying to get chart addicts on. Nick is gonna come on next Friday. All right. I think this is it for today. I've reached the end here for today. Went a little overtime here today. So hope everyone had a good day today. Hope everyone caught these sells here with me. If you didn't, that's okay. We can all learn from the missed moves. And okay, let's check out this last chart. This one last chart. Let's take a look at this. In a few next candles have a higher high. Does that make sense? GJ 15 minutes. Should I consider this resistance? Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at this move down, I mean, if you're looking, all right, let's take a look at this, right? If you're looking at this as a fake out, I think there's a possibility for price to continue moving up. You know, so looking at 15 minutes, yeah, I mean, it looks like a fake out for price to continue moving up. You know, but if I was watching this, I would try to take sells, but if I would have already had a winning trade, I wouldn't risk it. You know, but if price comes up here, if it forms a minor resistance, I think that's going to be a much better idea to take a sell because we already had a big move down. So maybe this is a retracement on the 4 hour to move further down or kind of reject this area and go back up. Who knows? We'll see what happens. So take care, everybody. Have fun, and let's not overtrade or over risk. You know.
Take care, bro.
Take care. Take care. Thank you. Thank you.
Every
Hey.
day.
See you guys. Go on.
Oh. Hey, Raja. Quick. Quick what? Quick what, man? Come on. Quick. 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 Quick.
Aston.
Nick, why don't you leave the live stream open for Uncle Ted and others to keep talking? Because no one wants to talk. Probably that's why.
I'm out.
All right, take care, take care. Yeah, you know, like if someone wants to stay, you know, just let me know. I'll keep it open. But for the most part, Gulag, nice having you here, Gulag. We'll see you tomorrow.